All right, so I wanted to play this interesting clip here from Sam Harris. Now, what's funny about this is it's titled "We Are Dying from Clips," and it's like kind of in the range-ish of clips. It's like a little under 2 minutes. So I thought that was interesting. I watched this through once. A little bit of it, I had to like start re-recording this a little bit. So it's like once and a half, maybe once and a third. Usually I like to watch things through multiple times before giving out information. Not always. Sometimes it doesn't always work out that way. You know, I work full time, have to take care of family, health, all that stuff. But with that said, that's an important thing. I'm glad I said that, because as this channel grows and gets more support, I'm going to be able to do way more thorough research and dive way deeper into things. For now, I try to just be honest about how little or how much I know. But let's watch this from Sam.
You know, why can't we eat babies? You know, why can't we eat babies? What's wrong with eating babies? If we've got extra babies around that nobody wants, why can't we eat them?
When I was on Cenk Uygur's podcast 10 years ago, and I said,
you know, why can't we eat babies?
I was making the point that a style of speaking within a philosophy seminar is something that you can't do out in public, and certainly not in your politics, right? Because it's like the context matters. Like in a philosophy seminar, you could say, you know, if you're trying to drill down on the foundations of ethics, you could say, you know, why can't you eat babies, right? People are hungry, they're unwanted babies. Babies have a lot of protein in them. Why? Just tell me, give me an argument. Why can't you ever eat, babies? Okay, that's in a philosophy seminar. That's totally fine. You hear that kind of thing said all the time. Out in the world, you sound like a total psychopath. And then I made the addition.
Okay, so I have actually ran into something similar. So I remember having a discussion with somebody online who got very upset at my position on free will. Now, again, I'm assuming my memory is correct. It's been a while. But additionally, if my memory is correct, basically they were confused because they were connected like to their trauma of like, how is it that you can believe there's no free will? Are you trying to say that like the person that did this thing to me didn't have a choice on the matter? And it's like, damn, when you put these kind of things out there philosophically in the real world, it can land the wrong way, right? Because as someone who doesn't believe in free will, that doesn't mean I don't believe that actions don't matter. That doesn't mean I believe that there shouldn't be consequences. That doesn't mean that I believe that suffering isn't real, all those things. In fact, moral suffering is at the foundation of what I think is wrong. Avoiding that and maximizing well-being. So, and I know Sam, I haven't really read a lot about Sam in terms of the details of his books. I think he thinks something similar. I don't, it's one of those weird things too. I don't know how much of it is like me picking up on Sam or if I kind of thought that too, but Sam was like, I discovered that Sam and I think the same or what, but anyway, we'll keep going on this.
All the time. Out in the world, you sound like a total psychopath. And then I made the additional point.
That's the kind of thing that if quoted out of context, it makes me look like an asshole.
Which is exactly what happened. Now, maybe it happened at the time, but it happened 10 years later, and now it's linked to somehow the Epstein case. And that was bouncing around social media. And, one guy had it on his feed on Instagram, and I think I was getting, death threats or quasi-death threats as a result of his promoting all that. I mean, the larger point is we are living and dying by clips now, right? We are just destroying our culture with what we are doing with clips. As consumers of information, we should understand, everyone should understand that we are being inundated with these half-truths and outright lies.
So I think that the clip culture to me is a problem in the sense that it is basically impossible in most cases, I would imagine, to have any kind of sophisticated thought just from the conclusion reached by watching a clip. Like, it's just like, I don't, there's no other way to put this. I don't see how you do it. It's so short. It's, 20 seconds, 30 seconds. Some are a little longer. Some might be even shorter. And the reason this matters is because I fear that, and I've talked about this before, but I fear that our problem right now is not necessarily decreased political engagement. Now, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like hearing somewhere, and this is super off the top of my head, so please correct me if I'm wrong, that the Trump elections, one or both of them, had more turnout, like overall, than ever previously, like in any elections. So what that means is that people are more, if that's true, it means they're more politically engaged. That's not the problem. The problem is the lack, in my mind, I would guess, I don't have any data to back this up, would be the lack of sophisticated engagement, right? We always tell people, go vote, go vote. Very important. But I've been thinking this for, God, in my early college years. Yeah, we can tell people to vote, but we also need to tell people to get educated on the topic. Nowhere else in our society would we accept someone knowing almost nothing about a topic and then we say, yeah, it's okay, you know, that you can do this. Now, that doesn't mean that I think we should take away the right to vote. That doesn't mean. All things considered, I think that even like the most ignorant people should have the right to vote, because if not, you're going on a slippery slope. You take away one person's right to vote, you know, you're risking taking, you know, where does that line end? Essentially is what I'm saying, right? You guys know what a slippery, I imagine that some of you may know what a slippery slope is. If you don't, look it up. It's an interesting thing to learn about. But yeah, so I'm for that. Like, I'm definitely for. I don't want that to be taken away. But it is interesting that it's like the only thing in a society that works like that, right? If you needed your plumbing fixed, and then an electrician came over, you'd be like, "Why the fuck are you here? You don't know anything about plumbing," you know? If you needed your car repaired, you wouldn't go to like the Target customer service desk. You'd be like, why? They would probably be like, why are you here? Why? I'm not fixing your alternator, right? So, yeah, the clips, I think, may be leading into all that. And that's the larger point I wanted to make is like, if you guys are going to watch clips, no problem. But understand what clips are and that they should funnel into larger content. When I do clips, I've started doing this relatively recently. I don't know if I've done it before because I've kind of, with clips, I often will kind of go on and off with posting them. But I'm making it my goal to make sure that the clips funnel into something larger. Partially, obviously, I want people to watch me, but also because I want that to be what this channel and community is all about. You take the short information, that's fine, it gets you interested, but that has to funnel you into something greater. And I hope my shorts represent that. And if that's something that like you're interested in, you know, like, comment, subscribe. If you can donate to the Patreon, of course, do it. And I'm not just saying that to plug, although obviously that's what it is to some degree. I genuinely want to build that community. I think it's so important to build up a society of critical, thorough thinkers. And as I have more time to do this, as I've said previously, I think, I'm going to have more time to dive into things. For now, I just try to tell you how little I do or don't know.
This these half-truths and you know, outright lies, this willingness to have your view of a person or an issue completely decided by a 45-second clip is a, you know, a habit we have to break, right? It's just, I mean, it's just shattering us.
So yeah, I mean, like I said there, the clips, use them for what they should be. They're not meant for full form content. They shouldn't be meant to form a full-fledged opinion, any of that. So yeah, if you guys like this, like, subscribe, comment, Patreon if you can. If you can't, no worries. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.